That's fine, what you're looking for?
Yep.
At this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Brickley to give you any updates that we have of the incinerator.
I have no updates since last meeting.
Look to the public and take some questions.
Questions? Pat Birch?
Hi, Pat Birch. We want you, the supervisors, to make a motion today to include Attorney Mike Ewell as part of the legal team. And if you want reasons why, I can tell you. Specialists in developing and the local clean air ordinance kicked off the whole idea and provide feedback and point out the potential loopholes and weakness, and is ready to urge the case in court about a local government rights, and the township has more rights on the EPA on the 5 month long and must have, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the right part. Anyway, I think it would be a good idea if we had Mike Ewell as part of the legal team, because he's experienced in this and he is an attorney, and I think he would be an asset to us in the incinerator, because like I said, I'm too close to Comfort for that incinerator. I live within a mile where this incinerator is going to be, and I feel as though that I should have voiced my opinion, and thank you for hearing it, and I agree that he should be a part of the attorney team. Thank you.
Mark Oakley?
I just don't know.
Okay. John Oakley, if you want to speak. That's it.
There must be another list back there maybe. I'm Lisa Geyer, I live on 848, very close to Pat. And
Okay.
I as well would kind of like to question if Mike Ewell could be kept in the loop. He is asking to be kept part of the loop without a fee, without any kind of charge, and he has been a big part of this so far. So I don't know if a motion could be made or if you would consider that.
I think there's enough lawyers on this file, on this issue.
He's already in the loop, as far as I know, right?
Well, he represents a group of individuals that are interested, so asking for him to be placed on a quote-unquote legal team for the township, I think is a conflict of interest.
Well, could he have access to the documents before they're for review?
The ordinance, you mean? There'll be a time when the ordinance is created and people can voice their opinion on the ordinance, so he can come here and voice his opinion on the ordinance. But I believe that the development of the ordinance and the communications between attorneys and the supervisors, attorney-client privilege, cannot be shared with anybody else. So I would suggest that it would not be appropriate. Okay. Okay. That's all I have.
I have a question too.
You are, Mayor?
Ruth Rolston, Milford.
They keep on telling you that you're not in New Milford, ma'am. Do you have any, do you have a?
She is.
Do
She
you
lives
have
right
a
up the road.
license that you can show us? Yes, right there.
I have to show a license to speak.
Well, we're just trying to confirm your residency or taxpayer status.
Susan Maxwell.
And it's expired.
But I have the other one.
I expect to be asked to show the license to them.
Well, we're just trying to confirm your residency.
Jack didn't see Township is on the first 3 months of the mile.
township splits in the middle of Mansfield, Jefferson Township. That's where we're at.
My name is Jim Duff, I didn't sign that sheet, but I know on page like, I'm reading the report of this, the last meeting here, and, it says, where is it now? An answer to one of the questions, the question was kind of, so the township is not here to exclude a legitimate business from coming into the area. We're looking into whether or not we may set stringent levels that what the state and or federal government require, or more stringent levels than what the state or federal government requires at this point. Does not mean that an incinerator will not be built. Fine, but aren't we looking to set a limit that would preclude this particular incinerator?
No, we are setting a limit that will place more stringent levels on certain incinerators within the township. There's nothing that is excluding, as long as the township, or excuse me, the business can meet the regulations, they might be able to build the incinerator.
Well, isn't the object to get the regulations stringent enough that they can't meet them and still put this kind of incinerator?
Now, these are health-based analysis that's being conducted by the environmental group that's hired to determine what kind of limits can be placed into the ordinance.
Has this type of incinerator been precluded anywhere else that we're aware of?
Don't know that. I have no answer to that. There's one in East Liverpool, Ohio, that is a permitted hazardous waste incinerator.
Right. Thank you.
So then, does that mean I can speak or I cannot speak?
Well, it's up to you guys. I mean, are you affirming that you're a resident of the township of?
Yes.
Well, it says right in the Milford on my license. And the whole thing is, I'm bringing up the whole issue again, that since Mr. Ewald originated the ordinance and you kept it for 5 months, we just want him to be part of the legal team, that's all, and be informed, and he's fought these he's able to fight these cases. He's, okay, give me a second. He's a specialist. He kicked off the whole idea. He's the one that gave you the original ordinance. So it has, he gave you the original ordinance. He could point out potential loopholes and weaknesses in anything. He can argue the case of court about the rights of local government. And the township does have more rights than the DP is telling us. And that's a very important fact. So we really, us the people, and how many people agree with me? Can you please stand if you agree with me? And we want Attorney Ewald to be part of it. I appreciate if you stand with me. Because it's not just me, it's the community. And we're asking, we know that you guys chose liberty, but we're asking you to choose, we're asking you to include Mr. Ewald. Thank you. Because there's a bunch of us, and we really need you to consider that. And we're grateful for all you've done. I mean, we appreciate it. But more heads are better than one, as you know. So please, we are asking you very nicely to include him in the legal team. Thank you very much.
My sister lives in Ben Salem, and he bought the incinerator for 7 years, and it was his bag, and now they're starting up again. And my sister lives in Ben Salem, PA, and Mike Evil was a big part of keeping that incinerator at bay.
Ben Salem,
Ben Salem, PA.
Township?
No, Ben Salem,
What
it's
kind of
just,
municipality?
yeah, Ben Salem, but he,
Did they hire Mr. Ewald?
yes, they did.
Okay, I'll check with Ben Salem's solicitor on that.
Thank you.
I still consider this a conflict of interest.
Well, I have a question. If we're the townspeople, how come we don't have a vote and say so who we want?
It's beyond whether or not what you want or what you don't want. I see this as a direct conflict, and that's an issue.
What's the
In what sense?
conflict?
We don't
What's the conflict?
What's the
Mr.
conflict?
Ewald is representing a group of individuals opposed to this incinerator.
Right.
Yes,
So aren't
that is
you
a
on the,
conflict of interest.
yeah, but
under
aren't you
the
on
ethical-
our side?
Listen to me. It's a conflict of interest under the ethical rules for lawyers practicing in the state of Pennsylvania. Period. That's what it is. If you'd like to look up the rules of professional conduct. You can go to the internet, type that in and see what a conflict of interest is.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just, I think he's well aware of the situation.
You can hire him and provide him to the township at the time of the public hearing, and he can provide information. There's no problem with that. But to hire him as an attorney is a completely separate issue.
Well, I think, well, maybe, okay, how about this? What about he could just be kept in the loop?
I think I would express my opinion on that. The opinion is that it would violate attorney-client privilege issues, and therefore I don't believe it would be appropriate.
Who's the client?
This board is the client.
Well, what about us? What do we?
You can hire your attorneys if you
Well,
want to.
aren't we a part of this township? Aren't we a
You
part
are
of this?
taxpayers of the township.
Then don't we have to say so?
You are
We're
saying
paying
your
taxes?
piece, that's correct. You have your piece and you're saying it, that's correct.
But you're not listening and you're not
I am
acting
listening,
upon,
I've
you're not.
responded. It's not like being a petulant child, keep on arguing a point. I made my point, and I think the problem is that there's a conflict of interest, and I'm advising my client that I believe there's a conflict of interest, and therefore, if they wish to overrule me, that's perfectly fine. I'm just suggesting there's a conflict of interest. There's also, just a point of matter, that Mr. Ewald did provide that ordinance. That ordinance has been significantly torn apart by DEP, and it is, in my personal opinion, and the opinion of a few other attorneys that have looked at it, has major issues. So you may have provided the ordinance. I don't know that necessarily it holds water.
But, okay,
I apologize, I came late and I didn't
Yep.
sign it, Jalen Goff. I did not stand because I don't believe Mr. Ewald should be a part of the legal team because he came into this community specifically against the incinerator, and as Mr. Brickley says, it is a conflict of interest. We're putting an ordinance in place for the quality of air for this area, not specifically against the incinerator, which we can't do legally. And Mr. Ewald did provide an ordinance. So to say that it was the original ordinance, it's not. It was an ordinance that he provided, and it is found to be unsuitable for this area and the purpose that we're doing. I think he can play a part in a separate group, as Mr. Brickley has suggested, for the incinerator. We can include him in, we can give him information, but we need to trust the legal team that's been put in place and the environmental firm to because I see the environmental firm, they know, they have it at their fingertips, all the things that we need to put in an air ordinance. They speak this language. We don't. And the legal team that's put in place, they also are an environmental team that works with industry. So again, they speak the language and they have a lot of experience doing this, and they are working for us. And we need to trust that they're going to put something in place that will hopefully be of benefit, but ultimately, and I'll say it again, it's about DEP and understanding how DEP works and what we need to do to make sure that we are holding DEP accountable for all of their regulations and letting them know that we're aware of the situation and that nothing slides, nothing gets by.
There's one other thing that I'd like to just say. On August 15th, I sent, along with Eric Siemens, a 7-page letter to Mr. Ewald asking numerous questions about the issues that we had identified in the proposed ordinance. It's 2 months. I haven't seen one document back from him addressing any of these issues. So we provided him an opportunity to defend his ordinance, to provide us with an understanding as to why he placed certain items into the ordinance, and 2 months later, I don't have an answer to not any of these questions. There was some communication that we had, a sit down. He said a few things, but he admittedly indicated that he didn't have the ability or the time at that point to respond to our questions. So I just want to make sure you're aware of that.
yeah, we know that.
So why hasn't he
Yeah.
responded to it?
Well, because it's gonna take, that's hours and hours and hours of legal work. That's the question there.
Well,
It's not that he's
didn't
had
you
the
even-
answers.
I thought there was just an indication that you made that he was willing to work for free and to work through these issues. these went to the heart of his ordinance, and I don't know why they have not been responded to. It would have been beneficial. We've now moved on beyond that ordinance, and we're moving on to a new ordinance that potentially will be much more legally sufficient for the
Well,
situation.
can I ask a question too? Since at that particular time you had Everett Stevens, why didn't they answer the 50 questions?
Because Art Stevens didn't draft that ordinance, he did, and
They
he clearly
were
put,
legal representatives.
what's that?
I said, weren't they represented by, they were our representatives, weren't they, at that point?
We reviewed that ordinance in detail. We had multiple questions as to what he did and why he did what he did, and we have not received an answer.
Yes, and they-
So we felt as though that ordinance was now unworkable and had to move on. He had 2 months of worth of opportunity to address it with us, and nothing happened. So I don't know what to tell you.
Anything else? Nobody has any more public comment. We're gonna move on to the regular business we have for the monthly meeting. If you